Hey, it's Chris, and today I'm going to be talking about a market update for these upcoming summer months and 3 things that you should be aware of if you're a seller or a buyer in today's market. So, the summer months are coming, and traditionally speaking, it's some of the busiest time in our real estate market. Now, with the pandemic happening, the whole game has changed, and I really want to talk about things that you should be aware of leading into these traditionally busy months and how you can be successful if you're a seller or buyer in today's market. So let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to talk about are appraisals. Now, in a market that's appreciating the way that we're experiencing here in Southern California, appraisals are the #1 sticking point for buyers. So what does this mean? It means that the values are appreciating so fast that ultimately the successful buyers that I'm observing and the other associates in my office are observing, the buyers that are winning have the ability to remove their appraisal contingency. So what does that mean? Let's say the property is worth $600. We're seeing the offers come in above the what an appraiser will value the property for. So let's say it comes in at $650. The eventual buyer that's winning is willing to pay that additional money to bridge that gap. So now that's tough if you don't have that additional funds. There are strategies around how we can help you navigate around that if you're a buyer. On the flip side, if you're a seller, be sure to reach out to your trusted real estate advisor and have them help you structure the pricing strategy in order to help maximize your sales price of your particular home. That way you're not leaving any money on the table and you can sell your home for the most amount of money possible. So the next thing I want to bring up has to do with inventory. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I've touched on this before, but it's just something that is a huge issue in today's market, and it's affecting everybody across the board. Now, inventory is, it's the amount of homes available for sale in a given marketplace. And a very, very interesting statistic that I want to make you aware of is that year over year here in Southern California, the total amount of homes that are on the market are down approximately 20 to 35% compared to last year. Now think about it. We're in June. As of last year, we were in the heart of the pandemic and the shutdown. Compared to last year, there are still less homes for sale this year than there were last year. So what does that even mean? If you're a buyer, there are less homes for you to look at, okay? So if you see something remotely close to what you're looking for, do not hesitate. Make that offer. It may not be the perfect home, but make that offer and be sure that you make a competitive offer because there's not a lot out there for sale, okay? And one quick tip, by the way, what I'm observing is that a lot of sellers' agents are overwhelmed in this marketplace. So if you're a buyer, make your best offer out of the gate. You may not have an opportunity to have a counter offer situation where you're able to haggle with the seller. If you're a seller in today's market, you're still, the low inventory is to your benefit because you're gonna have a bunch of buyers competing over your house for sale. Be sure that you're strategizing with your real estate professional on how do you position your property to be exposed to the most amount of buyers so that you can increase your chances of getting your home sold for top dollar. So the last thing I wanted to bring up has to do with somewhat of a crystal ball / projection of what our tail end of the year is going to look like. And I was reading this article in The Atlantic this past week, and it was oddly enough, it was the reporter was interviewing an economist that predicted the 2007 housing crisis or housing crash. And what they were talking about are the multiple dynamics at play that are driving this market. So I wanted to touch on a couple of those things and tell you why this market is not going anywhere anytime soon. So you just got to buckle up and jump in there. So a couple of quick points. 1 are millennials. 2 are seniors aging in place. 3, you have historically low interest rates. And 4, of course, going back to the inventory. So what all of that putting together, that economist was saying that it's the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm when you have millennials that are out there in their prime home buying years wanting to go ahead and buy homes. You have older homeowners aging in place, so they're keeping their homes for longer periods of time and they're not wanting to sell, which is causing an issue with their inventory like I already discussed. 3, we have historically low interest rates, which are fantastic, but it still makes it difficult when the prices are doing what they're doing and there aren't any homes for sale. And number 4, one thing that I didn't bring up has to do with construction. So construction is still lagging and we have home builders that aren't able to build homes fast enough. So you have this perfect storm that is basically driving this market to do what it's doing. So everyone's curious, Chris, is there a bubble? Chris, people that haven't been paying their mortgage payments, do you think that this is going to cause the market to fall apart here once people have to start making their payments again? And I think the ultimate answer is no. We're going to see this market last, I think, for a long time. So if you have questions about is it the right time for you, reach out to your trusted real estate advisor and ask them about your particular situation. And they should be able to tell you whether they think it's a good move to buy now or sell now, depending on your situation. So I know that was a lot of information. If you have any questions about your specific situation, call me. All my information is below. I'd be happy to sit down with you and talk about what makes the most sense going forward. I really appreciate you guys watching today. Thanks so much. Have a great day.